Hi everyone, I'm Mrs. Weber, and today I'm going to show you how to make a salt painting. For step one, you're going to need a thicker kind of paper that's a dark color, or a piece of cardboard like from a cereal box, and a crayon or colored pencil, bottled glue, salt, and something to put your artwork on to catch the salt. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is get my paper ready. Now, this is a black piece of, I think it was scrapbooking paper that I had left over. So I'm going to use that, but if you don't have a thick piece of paper like that, you could cut apart a box. This is a piece of cardboard from a Cheerios box. Just use the back side, and you can take a crayon and color the whole thing to get it ready for the glue. I would choose a crayon that is a darker color. I think that works the best. Here's an example of an artwork that I did previously that was from a Cheez-Its box. All right, when you have your paper ready, I would put it in something to catch the salt. This is a cake pan that I am putting my paper in to catch the salt. If you don't have something like that, or like some kind of short box, you could just put it on a bigger piece of paper to catch the salt. All right, then take your glue and make sure you open it up, twist the cap open, and you're gonna have to experiment with how much glue comes out of your bottle. If you want, you could draw your design in pencil first, but I would not draw details. Not much for details because it's kind of hard to draw with glue, and the glue kind of spreads out, so little things don't work very well. I am going to choose not to draw mine with a pencil first. I'm just going to go straight with drawing with glue. And I think I'm just going to make a heart shape in the middle. I'm going to do one side. And then I like to start at the top then and do one side at a time down to a point. Now I think I'm just going to make some curvy lines on the outside. All right, now I think on the inside of my heart I'm just going to put some dots. So I'm just going to squeeze a little bit and then just pull the bottle straight up to leave nice dots. If you mess up on the glue, you can always try to turn that into part of your design. Okay, I think I'm just going to leave it like that. And now I take my salt. Now I'm using a big salt container like this. If you don't have it, you could always use a salt shaker, but please make sure you get permission before you use salt. All right, I'm going to pour it in my hand, a big pile of it, and then I'm just going to pinch the salt and make sure I'm covering all of my glue lines. All right, now to help it get covered even more with salt, I'm just going to shake it just gently. Don't do it very hard or your glue might run. I'm just going to shake that extra salt so it goes into some of the glue. All right, then I'm going to kind of turn it up just a little bit and lightly tap it to get off the extra salt off of your paper. Be careful that your glue isn't running though. You have to be really careful of that. Then you need to let it dry. Another idea for your design is to write your name with glue. Here's one I did and added color to. I just wrote my name with a couple stars up at the top and some dots. The only thing is, on this one I used really thin construction paper and it really didn't work the best. The glue kind of spread out a little too much and it left a lot like a white halo around it and it kind of got a little wrinkled too. For step two, you can either use watercolor paint or you could use food coloring mixed with water. If you use the food coloring, I would use about 2 teaspoons of water with about 4 drops of food coloring per color. You also need a little cup for each color if you use the food coloring, and you'll need a little cup of water for washing your brush and a brush. Once your glue is dry, you're almost ready to start adding color. What I would do first though is to tap your paper to get off any extra salt that's not stuck down very well. And then if you still have salt where you don't want it, you can take either your finger, or I'm going to use this butter knife, and scratch off places where I don't want salt. I don't have very many places that I don't want salt, but some of my dots here got a little big or a little bit out of shape. I could scratch around those and get some of that off. But if you do that, then make sure that you are tapping your paper again, and I still have it in a cake pan to catch the salt. All right, now I'm gonna start adding color. Now I have both the food coloring mixed with water and watercolor paints ready. And I have my brush and my water for cleaning my brush. I'll start out using the food coloring, and I only have the primary colors, blue, yellow, and red, because those three colors, when you mix two, you make other colors. With those three, you can make all the colors of the rainbow. So I'm going to start out with yellow. And I think I'm going to use it on the heart, and you just touch the salt with your food coloring in the water, and the salt just kind of soaks it up and makes it travel along the lines. Now you'll start to notice that your paper next to your lines starts getting wet and dark. Don't worry about that, especially if you have dark paper. You won't notice that once it dries. All right, so I've got some yellow, and now I'm going to wash my brush out, and then I'm going to use red, and I'm going to put it at the bottom of my heart, and I'm going to let it travel up and into my yellow, and you should notice there's another color getting mixed. All right, now I'm going to wash my brush, and I think I'm going to use blue in the middle. All right, now I'm going to work on the curvy lines on the outside. All right, I also have my watercolor paints here, so I am going to use watercolor paints on part of it too. I'm going to start out with the red. Now make sure you rub the paint enough so that you get enough color on your brush. Also make sure that you have enough water on your brush. If your paint's too thick, the paint's not going to travel along the salt lines. But again, you should be able to just tap it. If it's not spreading as you're tapping the paint on, then you probably need more water on your brush. When you're done with your salt painting and it's dry, be careful with it because the salt can crumble off pretty easily. To help with that, you could give it a thin layer of hairspray. Also, you could take a picture of it so you always have it to see. All right, have fun creating. Thanks for watching. Bye.